Today I'm doing a talk through get ready with me. This is so bizarre, so out of my element because I feel so awkward when I'm doing like live speaking. But I've done some Facebook live videos to help me like work with that and get over that like anxiety. So I'm giving this a shot because I haven't filmed a YouTube video in like forever. So I really want to get back into the game of it because I miss that. I miss that like creative outlet. I miss the whole editing process of it. I miss it. I really just miss YouTube. I miss doing YouTube videos simply for the sake of just doing YouTube videos. I honestly don't have any desire to get anything out of this other than the fact that I like to help people, I like to connect with people, I like to express my creativity, and I like the whole like beauty world aspect of it. So here I am. I'm getting ready for work in like real life, like for real. And I'm just going to kind of like chat with you and do this, and I'm probably speaking way too fast right now because I'm a little nervous and I feel a little like awkward and uncomfortable. So bear with me. I'm hoping that it gets better. Okay, starting out, the first thing that I'm doing, I picked up this City Colors Glow Primer Oil from Shop Hush on Cyber Monday. Okay, so this is normally $9. I got it for $6.75 on Cyber Monday because they had a really good discount code. The reason I got this is because I have been dying to try the LC Cosmetics like glow oil that she has. I love LC Cosmetics. I love Lilith Cardanian, and she's one of my like beauty idols, mentors, whatever you want to call it. So I just like kind of like drop it into the palm of my hand and make sure you shake it up really good, and then I just distribute it like along my face, and I just think that it just gives a really nice little like glow to the skin. I have really dry skin. I feel like this does a really nice job at keeping me like hydrated like throughout the day underneath my makeup. And it also, I find that it makes my makeup lay like a lot nicer, like rather than if I just used like a non-oily primer. And I like the way that my makeup looks with this underneath. And you can use this in conjunction with another primer. Like you can layer a primer on top of it if you had like multiple uses for a primer. I like to put it on the back of my hands when I'm like done with it because it's so hard to explain. It's like so hydrating, but it's not oily. It doesn't make you feel like greasy. And it smells incredible. So I'm enjoying this, and I'm really enjoying the fact that it only cost me $6.75. And I most likely will repurchase it even if it's at full price at $9 because I do feel that it's worth it. This is the Bare Minerals Blemish Remedy Mattifying Prep Gel, and I really like to just add this where I tend to get a little bit on the oily side. The glow oil doesn't make me oily. I feel like just my skin's natural properties makes me a little oily, so just to like kind of like have a little bit of insurance, I like to just pat that in and let that sink in wherever I have little oily spots that tend to show through. The foundation that I have been reaching for and kind of like fallen back in love with, the Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation. I've kind of like rediscovered my love for this. I'm in the shade Light Neutral, and I don't like, I like to like cycle through my foundations. I have a whole drawer of them, and I like to just use them all and just like, I don't know. It's like weird. I like to keep it exciting. But there are ones that I like reaching for definitely more often than others. And this is one of them. I like this like moussey like texture that it has. This is one of the few foundations that I own that's a dead-on match for my skin. Like some of them, the undertone is like a little off here and there. Some of them, you know, I have to like play around with like my concealer and my contour and stuff to like adjust the shade. This one right here is a dead-on match. Undertone, everything. I think it's just because I have very neutral skin, so I don't really like fall too much in the way of like pink or drastically yellow. But I really like the full coverage-ness about it. I don't feel like it's as full coverage as other foundations. I mean, it certainly can be if I build it up, but I do like the coverage on this one, and I love the finish. I'm using the Elsie Cosmetics Velvet Sponge to just kind of like bounce this into my skin. This is my holy grail at the moment sponge. I love it. I love everything about this sponge. I feel like I don't want to like say that this will be my favorite sponge forever because I love trying new things, but at the moment this is my holy grail, #1 favorite. I think it's like $18. I feel like that's well worth it. I think a beauty blender is like 20 bucks, and this is, in my opinion, hands down, worlds better. I would happily buy that one for the rest of my little makeup loving life if nothing better came out. I do want this to be a little bit more full coverage, so I'm just going to kind of go back in with like a tiny little bit more and just pat that around. I'm just going to do like a quick second layer. Just build that up just a touch. For my concealer, I have been really liking this Makeup Revolution, the Conceal and Define Concealer. This is the giant one. I just purchased the supersized one from Ulta, and I am in the shade C6, and I like it. I love this applicator, this giant like doe foot applicator. It reminds me of like the Shape Tape, but it's not as, I don't know, I feel like the Shape Tape is like so severe and like so full coverage. I reserve my Shape Tape for Ultra Glam. Like this is like a little bit more of a natural finish, I feel like, and not so much a whoa, I am highlighted under my areas like finish. And I do like to wipe a little bit there on the chin. I like to give myself a little bit of a lightness there. A little bit down my nose, nothing too crazy. I am just going to work after all. I'm not like doing like a full glam for you today. And if you're wondering, I work as a bartender in a local restaurant. I have been waitressing and bartending for a very, very, very long time. So even like while I was going to college, and then while I was going to skincare school, and then even when I got a job as an esthetician in a salon, it's just, I don't know, it's just always like been like a consistent form of money for me, and it's always been an enjoyable occupation for me. I really enjoy it. I enjoy food. I enjoy taking care of people. I love like customer service and hospitality. I love like that sort of thing. And so now what I currently do is I work 3 to 4 days a week, and then I freelance as a makeup artist. I'm not currently working in skincare. I don't know if I'll return to it. I don't know if, I mean, you never know. You just never know. But right now, this just works out for me, and I really enjoy it. I feel like I enjoy all the forms of work that I do, and I feel like it's all consistent it's like a consistent living, and both of the jobs that I do, I feel like I can take anywhere and just kind of like apply them, because they're more so like, I guess, like trades. So yeah, that's what I do. To set my concealer, I'm going to really quickly just use this Becca Under Eye Brightening and Setting Powder. Looks like this. I know this wasn't like the most well-received product when it first came out, but I bought it. I bought it when it was like new, and I don't hate it. I don't think that I'll repurchase it as like one of my holy grail products, but I don't hate it. So I do use it just to use it and not be wasteful. I'm using the Morphe M438 brush. This is like, this I would repurchase. This is like one of my holy grail like under eye setting brushes. I actually want to purchase another one just to use for highlighting because I love it so much. So I kind of just like roll that into the cap here where I've laid down that product. I don't bake. I never bake. Baking just doesn't work out for me. I've even tried like using this sponge and like setting the powder in and kicking it on. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know. I feel like it just ends up emphasizing the texture like under my eyes and making me look more like aged and creasy and blah. So I just like to just tap that in under my eye and then just take it on my eyelid, because I like to always conceal my lids as well. And I always set by tapping. I never set by like swiping, because then you're just gonna wipe your makeup off. Okay, so this is, I'm gonna show you what I'm using. I don't think you can get it anymore through like the Revlon. I think it was discontinued, but I like this Revlon Color Stay Whipped Cream Makeup. I'm using 330 True Beige. Basically, it's a foundation, so if you just go and find a foundation that's a few shades darker than your skin tone, that's essentially what I'm doing here. So ignore the fact that I'm using a product that is kind of like discontinued, although you can still buy it. You can find it like on certain websites. You can find it on Amazon. Basically, the point is I'm contouring, but I'm contouring using a foundation that's like 2 or 3 shades darker, because of the fact that I am so fair that a lot of contour shades on me right now just end up looking too muddy and they don't look natural, and I need to use something that's a little bit more forgiving for my skin tone. I'm taking this BH Cosmetics marble handled brush that came in the marble set. It's a duo fiber brush, and I'm going to kind of like just stipple a little bit of that foundation on, and you can see it's not like a drastic difference, but it's a really nice, like, natural way for me to achieve that contoured look without looking like I'm wearing like stripes, or I don't know. It's like, I guess it's like fair skin friendly, but it's not just fair skin friendly, because anybody with any skin tone can go out and buy a foundation that's a few shades darker and get the same effect. For me though, this is just what works, because a lot of contour shades are just too severe for me right now. Fair skin problems. I like desperately always wished to have like a olive skin tone, or like more of a medium skin tone, but this is what I was given and this is what I'm going to work with. And then I just use that same brush and I just kind of like blend it in. Give myself that little like bronzer helmet to really shape out my forehead. I have a pretty ovally round hybrid of a face. My face is very, I feel like it's oval, but I feel like I have such full cheeks that when I smile, it gives me like this appearance of having a much rounder, full face. So I really like to use contouring to chisel that down to make my face look a lot more angled and structured. So, and then just a touch on the nose, a little bit under my lip to make it look a little full. And then I take my sponge and I just press all that in together to really make it seamless. I'm going to set the areas that are not contoured. I'm going to use the Maybelline Fit Me Pressed Powder in shade 120 Classic Ivory. I'm going to use another one of those marbled brushes. This is from that same set. This is the number 2 in that set. This set is freaking amazing. I love it. I like lusted after it for a really, really long time because I'm like a marble freak and I love anything marbly. And I love the fact that it has like the rose gold like ferrule on the handle. So I was like lusting after it, but I was like kind of being cheap about it because it was like $30 something and I felt like that was really expensive for BH Cosmetics brushes. So I waited and waited and waited until they went on sale, and then I bought this set and I fell in love with it. And now I can wholeheartedly say that if you want that set, it is worth it at full price. It's so worth it that I bought a second set when it went on an even deeper sale. And then to set my contour, I really am enjoying this Pure Sculptor palette. I got this in a BoxyCharm, and when I got this, I kind of like just tossed it aside. Like I was kind of unimpressed. Basically, I'm taking the Chic powder brush. This is It Cosmetics. This came in like a holiday collection. And I'm going to just very, very, very lightly tap that top contour shade because it's super, super duper pigmented. And then I'm just going to lightly like, just kind of like use that to further enhance that contour. But I'm not really like darkening it, I guess. I'm just doing a light amount of it so that it sets it in and it just enhances a little bit, because like I said, it's super pigmented. But back to my little tangent. I kind of like just tossed this in the drawer. I didn't want to fully get rid of it. Like, I didn't want to sell it or trade it or anything like that. I really wanted to give it a chance, and I was intrigued by it, but I wasn't, I'm so rambly right now. I wasn't, like, reaching for it. So I finally kind of, like, forced myself to, like, just pick it up and check it out and see what it was all about. And I actually really love it. So, yeah, lesson learned. I don't really touch this shade yet. I'm kind of just, like, leaving that alone for the moment, because I feel like this top shade is plenty pigmented and plenty dark for me. I like the fact that it's a very nice little hybrid of a bronze contour shade. It's not like too ashy, but it's got like enough of a warmth to it to where it can kind of get away with bronzing a little bit too. I'm just going to switch my brushes. Right now I'm using the IT Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe Youth Sculpted Contour and Highlight Brush. I really enjoy this brush tremendously. So again, I'm just kind of like coating the bristles, tapping it off, and then I'm very lightly just kind of like sculpting a little bit more, just to get like a little bit more of a like defined appearance. So can you see like that little bit of a difference? And then it just kind of like fades up. So it's not like super duper sculpted, but just enough. And then repeat that on the other side. And if I do go like a little bit darker on this, I don't mind, especially like with any of these facial steps, like the blush, the highlight, because I feel like those on myself are always the first areas to like wear down and kind of like fade out. So I feel like if I do my makeup like a full hour and a half before I have to be to work, by the time I get to work and like really get working and customers come in and all that good stuff, it's still pretty like pigmented and it looks pretty good. So now to highlight, this highlighter is no joke. I learned that when the first time I used it. I feel like I have a little too much going on there. The first time I used it, I don't know why, because I never start with my nose, but for some reason that day I started with my nose and I went, and I had full on Tin Man, just frosty shiny nose going on, and I was like, so lesson learned. I'm taking a Morphe M15. I'm like the worst at reading off these brushes. I'm so slow. The Morphe M510 brush, and I'm using this top shade here, and like I said, I'm not like dipping too heavy into it because it is pigmented. And it's a really nice like light frosty, almost like a champagne highlight, which for my skin tone is like great. And I like to just do there. I don't like to go too far into the cheeks because again, I have some texture there and I don't really want that to emphasize that. So can you see like how beautiful and like wet that looks on the skin? I love a wet highlighter. I love when it looks glossy. Like that's totally what I'm into right now. I'm kind of like not really so much into the glittery, chunky highlights. I really like that glossy, like dewy look. And then a little bit on the nose. I'm just kind of like hitting all the spots that I typically highlight. I really love a dewy look. Like I'm very all about that right now. And yes, I am going over my brow. I kind of like hit my brow bone and like go up onto my temple a little bit. And that's usually how I highlight. I will go back in and highlight my inner corners, but I'm not going to do that until after I have my eyes done. So in the winter, I really enjoy a cream blush, and I've been using this one, the NYX Bright Idea. Let me try the shade. It's in the shade Rose Petal, and it's the illuminating blush stick. It has like a little bit of a glow. So I kind of just tap it onto the cheeks there and like sweep it back into along my cheekbones, and then I just use my blending sponge to just sheer it out, and I love the way that that looks. And I don't really feel like I need to set it with a powder or anything. It just gives you that like glowy, like lit from within type of vibe. I don't like it too like an overly blushed appearance. I just want a little bit to get that like luminescent, like healthy glow, and then that's pretty much it. And I like the performance of this stuff. I really want to try doing that whole like reverse foundation routine where you do like your blush, your bronzer, all that stuff underneath your foundation. I watched Samantha Revenall do it, and I loved the way that it turned out on her, so I'm intrigued in that. I'm probably going to give that a shot one of these days. Maybe I'll film it for you. Alright. I just got this palette in my Boxy Luxe that came the other day, and I've been using it and really enjoying it. And it is the Violet Voss Pro Palette Holy Grail. The back it says My Holy Grail. And it's got like a very similar like color family to like the Modern Renaissance, but I feel like it does the job. I feel like if I wanted to do like a neutral look, I can do that. If I wanted to do more of like a mauve tone look, I can. If I want to hit it up with a little orange, I can. It has some really nice shimmers in here. Look at that. That's a really nice shimmer. I don't know, just I've really been enjoying it. I think it's a really good everyday palette. The pigment is great. The pigment isn't like as like heavy hitting as like a Juvia's Place palette or like one of those, but it's not, it's there. Like it's definitely, it's good. I enjoy it. So I'm taking a Morphe of, I don't even know, it doesn't have a number. It came in a set. I'm starting with this shade called Transition right there. And I'm going to just start by blending that into, I guess like if I looked back and I found my crease, I'm going to go like in that area, but I'm also going to take it like above it too, because I have pretty small round eyes, so I need to make them look larger and more, I guess, like elongated. And so the way that I really like to blend my shadows is I like to run it along this whole entire like bone area and then flick it out to give it that longer appearance, that longer look. So that's what where I generally start with like my transition like blending colors. And then I'm also taking that underneath my lash line. So I guess like basically I'm creating like this like halo of warmth like in this whole area, and it kind of just helps my eyes like pop out a little bit more and just look a little bit more accentuated. Then the next shade that I like to take is I like to take this shade here, Bestie. It's very similar to that first transition shade. It's just like a hint cooler. So I find it just like, it adds like another like layer of tones to the skin. It just is like another step in creating that look that I really like for like an everyday, very like natural, universally flattering type look. That's like basically what I'm going for here. I like this Morphe brush because it has like a pointed type, like it tapers down, and it's really helpful for concentrating the color and then just really like feathering it out. And again, I don't remember, I got this on Haute Look when Morphe was on there one time, and I just bought like, I bought like some, obviously I have some of their like brushes that are individuals and have numbers on them, but this was like a brush roll that I just kind of like grabbed because I wanted to check out the quality. The next shade is like another, it's along the same lines as that one. It's called Are You Kidding Me? But it's, again, just like a hint darker. And this time, instead of blowing that color all the way up like towards my brow bone, I'm just kind of like focusing it really in like the true crease. I'm not blending it out as much as I did those other two. I'm just going to keep on going back and forth until I get the desired pigmentation. Oh yes, I just kind of like use that shade to just further like enhance that crease area and deepen that up, and then again I'm flicking it out just ever so slightly to make my eyes look a little bit more elongated and not so small. I'm switching over my brush to this. This is the number 8 brush in that marbled collection, and it's more of like a flat but fluffy, it's like a shading, like blending hybrid brush, I guess, if you will. I like when I need to really concentrate color, but I want to still like blend it out. So I'm taking the brown shade in the corner, it's called Brownie Points, and I'm taking that on that brush there, and I'm just going to very slightly just tap that into that outer portion. And I'm not blending it yet, I'm just really packing that color in there. And then I'm going to use that brush just a little bit, very small like wiggling motions, just to blend it just slightly, but I don't want it to be too blown out because then it will start to look muddy with the other shadows. So I'm kind of just darkening up that outer area. I make really weird and unflattering faces when I do my eyeshadow. I just realized that. When you have smaller eyes like me, if you use, so instead of applying your dark color here, like actually on your eyelid, if you use that like little like spot like right here, that little spot, and you start by applying your shadows there, you can give the illusion that your eyelid space is actually bigger than it is. I'm switching back to that Morphe brush, and I'm going back in with Are You Kidding Me? I'm just using that to just blend that out a little bit and add a little bit more warmth back in. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to put my palette down. I'm going to add a little bit of sparkle to my lid. And to do that, I'm taking the Stila, this is like the Shimmer and Glow like liquid shadows. This one is the holiday set from last year, that's why it's so tiny. But this is in the shade Kitten. And I like to just, not like, I guess like kind of like do like a tiny, like maybe a little bit of a cut crease, like nothing too crazy. Not as like defined as like an actual cut crease with like concealer, because that is incredibly time consuming and it's a whole different look. So, and then I just use my finger to tap it out. And it just adds like a really pretty shimmery effect to the lid. And it just opens up that eye a little bit more. And I just really like the way that that looks. And I'm going to add a little bit to the inner corner there, because when you add like a little bit of a liquidy base and then you go back over with a powder, it just enhances it. And it really, really helps it pop. I'm going to add a touch of liquid liner. I'm using the Essence Super Fine Eyeliner Pen. This is the waterproof black one. And it's a super thin tip. I like to just do a very thin line. And this isn't the best liquid liner. I mean, it's definitely not like horrendous. I usually reach for the Kat Von D tattoo liner, but I got this in that same like Hush haul that I got this oil. So I really just wanted to like kind of give it a shot. It's a really matte formula. It's not like a very like wet formula. This pen kind of sucks. definitely not my favorite. I really don't like that at all. Switching gears a little bit, I'm using this Ico Skinny Liquid Liner in black. Just because I feel like that line is like not even close to being pigmented. For my bottom liner, I love this Marc Jacobs gel highliner. This is it's exactly what it's called, the gel highliner gel crayon. This is just black, and I just put that in my like lower waterline. And then I'm just gonna go back in with a little, this is a Luxie mini round 141 brush. I got this in a BoxyCharm. I'm taking the same highlighter that I highlighted my cheekbones, that I highlighted my face with, and I'm just going to dot that over where I applied that Stila shimmery highlighter. My brow routine is really simple and minimalistic. So basically it's the Brow Gal Instant Brow Hair like micro fiber tinted brow gel. I start by using this to really comb my brows up and distribute as much of that pigment into there as I can. And then I just basically go in and I fill in the blanks with a pencil. So it's like, it's almost like lazy. There are times where I'm feeling extra fancy and I definitely want to go in and take my time and get an Instabrow and use my pomades and my powders, but I don't know. My brows, I like to keep them simple and natural. Like that's just where I'm at with my brows right now, and I really like that like fluffy, natural, like almost like borderline bushy brow look. So then I just give that a second to like dry, and then I'm using, honestly, I don't use the same brow pencil every day. Just reach for whatever I grab first. Today it's the Model Co. Instant Brows pencil, and this is in the light medium formula, and I just kind of like find where the bottom needs to get filled in, and I focus more on that area than I do like on the top and reshaping that area. Sorry I'm not better explaining brows. I just like to comb that product through a little bit, and like push the hairs up more a little bit after I filled that in. I like to just go in with this BH Cosmetics Flawless Brow Highlighter. It has like a matte side and a shimmery side for you to like clean up your brows with. And I use the matte side, and I just kind of go in and just lightly clean up the underside of that brow. And then I just tap that in with my finger, and it really just kind of like opens up and like brightens that and makes the line look a little bit cleaner and sharper. For my eyelashes, I haven't been using this for that long because, again, I got this in a Boxy Luxe. This is the Grande Mascara. It's the lash boosting formula. I'm not crazy about this as a mascara. It's not like my most favorite mascara ever, but I am trying it out because I really want to know, does it boost your lashes? Does it make your lashes grow? Does it make them thicker? Like, what's the deal with it? So I'm kind of just using it just to see like what it does in terms of that, but I don't feel like it's like a groundbreaking, amazing mascara. I like volume in my lashes. I don't really, obviously, like I love length too, but the way that I like my lashes to look is like a lot, just thick, very thick lashes. I love that look. And this doesn't, I don't know, it kind of like just coats my lashes, and it doesn't really like enhance them the way that I usually like them to be. So, I don't know. We'll see. The jury's out. I don't know what this is going to do for me. I don't know if it's worth stubby little not defined lashes, but we'll see. I go in with like, I guess like 3 good coats to try to amplify whatever I can. And then that's going to be it for lashes. Shocker, I don't wear false lashes all the time. I probably should. I probably should start using them because I have a whole drawer of them and I love the way that they look. But just to go to work, I feel like they drive me nuts. I've done it in the past. Not going to say I never wear lashes because I do enjoy them and I do enjoy the way that they look. But when I'm just like getting ready to go to work, it's not like often that I'll throw on a pair of lashes. So I know a lot of people on here wear false lashes like literally every single day. I am just not that girl. I just don't know. I don't know what it is. They just drive me nuts when I'm at work when the inner corner starts to like poke. And I get really self-conscious if they start to lift because once you get them on, you really can't take them off because it kind of like ruins your whole eye look. You have to like start all over again. So I typically just like to find a really good mascara and just go from there. And that's it. I think that's all I'm going to get out of this stuff. So I'm just going to do my bottom lashes really fast. It is a quick drying formula, I find. I find that you kind of have to like, if you're going to work in layers, you have to work pretty fast. Because if you, I don't know, for me, I like to layer my mascara when it's kind of like wet still so that it really builds up. And this kind of dried down pretty quick. Alright, the last thing I need to do is my lips. I am going to just take a very natural shade of lip liner. This is the Essence lip liner in the shade in the nude. And it's a very close match for my own lip color. Just like a shade darker, I guess. It's a decent lip liner. It's not like the best one. It's not as creamy as other lip liners in the market, but for like a quick, inexpensive lip liner, like this is a decent one. And I really like the shade of this. And then I'm going to take one of my favorite lip colors, which is the MAC Lip Tensity. This is in Driftwood. I go back and forth between this and Clouds in My Coffee all the time. Those are like my 2 favorite like everyday lipstick formulas, shades, all of the above. Really like that. I really like that formula. This is Clouds in My Coffee. This is like the other one that I like go back and forth. This is like a warmer version of this. These are like very similar. One's very cool tone though, one's very warm. And then I've really been enjoying this gloss that I got again in a Boxy Luxe. It's the Tartiste Lip Paint. This is in the shade Insta Famous. It's like a really pretty like blush champagne type of gloss. It's very sheer, but the reason that I like this is because it has all these like microfine glitters, and they really just look really pretty as like a lip topper, and it makes your lips look like just really like glossy and wet almost. And I'm just packing that on with my finger because I don't want to ruin the applicator. I really like this like really shiny like lip look. I think it's just really flattering. So that's everything. I am just going to grab this NYX Matte Finish Long Lasting Set Spray. And I really like this one. I like the sprayer. I like the mister. I think that it does like a nice fine like even mist. It doesn't like shoot the spray in like streams. And the formula is nice. It kind of like takes away any chalky or powderiness. And that's it, you guys. Zoom in. That is my everyday, not every day. This is today. This is me. Let's get ready with me today, because every day I do my makeup different. Every day I change things up. It's just, I just get bored if I do the same thing all the time. So I hope that you liked this kind of video. Please let me know in the comments below if it was okay, if you prefer me to go back to the voiceover thing, because then I can kind of like think out what I want to say a little bit better. It's probably going to be a little bit longer when I do the talk through, because it just takes me a minute to like explain everything, and I have to really kind of like be thorough in what I'm doing, if that makes any sense. So if you survived this whole entire video, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I love you guys, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.